What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm sharing with you my favorite mod to my 2019 Mustang GT so far. So I've done a few things to the car, and obviously, you know, all of them have been things I've really enjoyed and I've liked, and that's why I've done them. But there's certain things that obviously I've liked over others. So today I'm telling you one of my favorite mods about the car, and kind of give you my little review about it. So without further ado, let me go ahead and just tell you what it is. The favorite thing I've done so far to the car was definitely replacing the shifter with the MGW Race Spec X shifter. It's a short shifter, and pairing it with the weighted shift knob. Now, the reason I say this is this was the one thing that really kind of transformed the whole experience of driving the car. You know, it took away a lot of that sloppiness that the stock shifter had, and it made me have a lot more confidence behind the wheel. Now, I've had the shifter installed for probably about 1,000 miles or so. Is that Fresh Kicks over there? What's up, man? But yeah, so I've had the shifter installed for probably 1,000 miles, maybe even more than that, like 1,500 miles, and I have absolutely loved having it. The reason being is that I was kind of skeptical about changing the shifter. I know I wanted to change it, but I don't know how aggressive I wanted to go, and this is probably the most aggressive you can go, and that is a really cool McLaren. I'm cruising down PCH today, by the way, so it's just a ton of cars are out. But yeah, this is probably the most aggressive of the lineup that MGW offers, in terms that it's short. As you can see, it sits pretty low, and it's very, very short throws. I mean, this is a throw right here, like 3 to 4, just like that. It is super, super short throws, and this is neutral. Look at this. You guys see this? That's neutral right there, and it's very stiff, by the way. So it definitely takes, you know, you gotta kind of muscle it and do your thing with it in order to get it to, you know, move where you want it to be, which is great. The cool thing is, though, once you get the car going, you know, just sliding it from one gear to the next is very easy. It just glides into gear really, really well. It's super smooth, and that's kind of my favorite part. There's really no guesswork about the next gear you're going into. You don't have to guess about going, you know, from second to third, or you know, fourth to fifth. So you always have that accuracy there, and the more I practice racing with it, the better I get at making my shifts. I know my shifts gotten a lot faster over the stock one, just because obviously it's a short shifter, so there's less travel, but at the same time, just because I'm not skeptical, you know, I'm shifting with confidence and just banging that next gear, and I know it's going to be the right one. I know I'm not going to get locked out or anything like that, so that's a very cool part of it. So I totally highly recommend this. If you are thinking about, you know, going this route with a manual car, then this is definitely the shifter to get. It'll change your Mustang completely. You know, I haven't driven a stock Mustang again, so I'm driving one this week on Tuesday, and I'm excited to see the difference, because I honestly forgot how my stock shifter felt. It's been 1,500 miles now, and I just forgot the feeling of it. So, you know, I feel like my car right now is set up pretty nice, because I'm really enjoying the driving experience with it. I know the next step for this thing is probably going to be coilovers or some type of suspension, because my suspension is a little on the sloppier end. It doesn't feel too great, and I want to get that kind of dialed in. You know, the wheels, I like them. I feel like I can hold off on changing them out for now, but definitely I would like some suspension work just to make this thing feel a little better, you know, cornering and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going with a coilover kit. I'm not going to do springs, just because I don't want to go that route. This is a car that I want to handle well, and you know, I want to have a nice ride that's adjustable. Would be kind of the ideal situation where I can kind of adjust it and dial it in exactly how I like it. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited. That's definitely going to be our next mod, along with, you know, a bunch of other things that we're doing. But yeah, I wanted to kind of make this quick video and tell you guys about the MGW shifter. Now, if I share a little bit more information for some of you guys that are interested, and I know some of you guys are probably not interested in hearing all of this. Some of you guys have automatics, and this doesn't even matter at all. But the next thing I'd like to say is, a lot of you guys have hit me up that do own it and asking about like vibrations, stuff like that, or how stiff it is. So it starts off pretty stiff, but as time kind of goes on, you'll notice that it starts to kind of loosen up a little bit. Not a lot. I mean, it's still very, very stiff compared to stock. And if you're comparing it to stock, it's a night and day difference in terms of how much play there is. You know, there's no play. This thing doesn't move. It's in gear and that's it. So, you know, over stock, it's very stiff. It does loosen up a little bit, you know, from use. Also, there's a little bit of heat that comes out, and since the shifters kind of sits pretty low, make sure that you put all the insulation and stuff over here to prevent it from getting too hot. So that's something that somebody I know mentioned to me, whether, you know, that I get heat or anything like that from here, and I do. It's a little bit, it's nothing too crazy, but I can feel a little bit of warmness down here. But we have the Dynamat installed, and then there are a bunch of you know, insulation and stuff to prevent it, so that's a good thing about it. But other than that, there's no complaint really. You know, I have the short stick, so for me it works as a perfect height because I usually rest my hand right here when I'm driving, so I don't need to like have my hand floating up. I just have my hand resting. I kind of have my seat low right now because I like to give you guys a good view with the GoPro. But yeah, so, you know, my hand just stays resting here. It's a very comfortable driving position. I really like it actually. So as you can see, you know, my hand is just resting and I'm just kind of moving the gears as I wish, like that. So if you have a Mustang and it's a manual, I'm not even getting paid or sponsored or anything by MGW to say this, but I do have to say this is definitely a game changer for the manuals. You know, and make sure it's mounted to your transmission, so that way, you know, you reduce the risk of like getting locked out. You know, that's how I have it. It's not mounted to the chassis of the car like the stock one is. It's mounted right to the transmission, so there's really no fear of missing gears whatsoever. Might even do a pull for you guys if the roads open up a little bit here. Maybe on the way back we'll do a nice little pull and show you just how smooth it goes from one gear to the next. It's absolutely amazing. So a lot of you guys have also mentioned that you would like me to discuss the true cost of doing stuff like this. So the MGW shifter will run you about $475. The shift knob on top of it, which is the racing shift knob, will run you $150 to, you know, like $175, depending on the engraving and stuff like that, all the different options. This shift knob is weighted at £1.5 pounds, so that's the weight that it is on top, and the MGW holds it really well. And I like the fact that you know, combined together, the weight just helps you kind of slide into that next gear that much easier. You know, it just helps moving the stick, and it gives you a very nice feel. Obviously, this is kind of like the GT350 style with like the cylinder rather than the ball, and I've gotten to really love this setup. So this will be like another $175, and then you have to get installation if you don't want to do it at home on jack stands, which I highly recommend you have somebody install it at a shop, or if you have a friend that has a lift or something, they can let you kind of borrow, because doing it on jack stands is going to be kind of a hassle. I know some people are able to do it, but it's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of work. So I say if you have someone that can hook you up at a shop, definitely go that route. Installation for me was about $150, I believe, if I remember correctly. It's in that range. So all in all, you're talking about, you know, it's gonna be under $1,000, and it's definitely gonna change your whole driving experience in the car and give you a lot more confidence, less risk of grinding your gears and messing things up when you're racing. So I would say definitely top of the list mod for anyone that is interested in going fast, and you have a manual and you just, you know, want to get nice kind of precision shifts. Maybe the short shifter is a little on the aggressive side, so if you don't want to be too aggressive with it, you can get the normal stick, not the super short one. But the short stick is going to give you the shortest throws and everything like that, so the most advantage if you are racing. So yeah, that's kind of been my update, you know, after 1,500 miles on my MGW, just kind of telling you what I feel and what I think of everything. So if you enjoy this video, please leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel. There's more mods coming for my Mustang, and I love sharing this stuff with you. I'm definitely going to start incorporating a little bit more about the financials, since a lot of you guys have been asking about that as well. I'm not really hiding the financials, but you have to understand that sometimes it's a little difficult to share every single aspect of it, just because when I work with certain shops and stuff like that, sometimes I get special pricing as an influencer. So unfortunately, I can't share exactly all the details, but I will, to my best abilities when I can, give you guys a kind of rundown, that numbers, and tell you exactly what everything is going for. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you drop a like on it, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Peace.